could you ever love me? You don't even see me. I'm hanging around, wasting time, hoping that you drop by. And I don't pretend to know what you want. I don't even know where to start, but I'm willing to try. Even if you push me under, it's only gonna make me stronger. It's only gonna feed my hunger. Say the words, say the words. Even if the tide stops turning, keeps burning, nothing's gonna stop this feeling. Say the words, say the words. Watching the flames burn higher, setting my world on fire. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, risking it all on you. And I don't pretend to know how you feel. Either you won't or you will, but I'll give it a try. Even if you're too blind to see, and even if you look right through me, I never thought it would be easy. Say the words, say the words. Even if the world stops breathing and every beating heart stops beating, nothing's gonna stop this feeling. Just say the words, say the words.
Hello, what's good? Welcome. It's Deadlock time, and we are jumping right in. Welcome to First Strike number 8. It has been a wild time. We've got some big name teams. Today is day one, and then tomorrow we'll see the conclusion of the tournament with Hydra Nation. You know who they are. They're waiting in the wings. But tonight, Philly, we've got a matchup to see who plays against them.
Yeah, and we have BBL versus Melee Creeps. And if everybody tuned into DFN last night, we saw Melee Creeps won in a 2-0 fashion to beat Hydra Nation. So they're going to be looking to run it back for our $100 grand prize in this tournament, Infinite Strike. So this is going to be a revenge match, and maybe Hydra Nation gets the better of them this time around, tomorrow. So we will see, but Melee Creeps has to get through BBL first.
Yeah, I think this is kind of the fun section that we're at with the Deadlock scene at the moment. In North America, there's like two big name squads, and that's Melee Creeps and Hydra Nation, but there's always this lazy Susan of rotating, not so lazy players that are trying to really bust into that scene. So I kind of look at like Deadlock Fight Night as sort of the premier show going on. You get to see those big name squads, and now we've got teams like BBL, be back later, of course, who are going to be rolling up and trying to break their way in. Melee Creeps stands in front of them, so might be a tall task, but Melee Creeps on the left-hand side, they're going to go ahead and ban out the Mirage. Standard fare. It's interesting. Real quick, I want to tag how we just talking about like our top two teams. When you take a look at Melee Creeps and Hydra and going head to head and Fight Night, there's a lot of this like smaller internal meta where we're watching respect bands pretty much top and bottom. And so here, as we see Melee Creeps go up against BBL, I think that this is probably going to be a little bit more, the Deadlock meta rather than those two teams. So seeing the Mirage and the Grey Talon with a Vindicta first selection, this is kind of very standard fare, I think, with respects to just how powerful some of these picks are.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been doing quite a bit of research on Melee Creeps, and they have a very solid strategy in terms of how they go about their draft. If they are the first one to ban, they ban Mirage. If they are able to be the second and Mirage isn't banned, they pick him first. So that is kind of their opener. On the other side, Vindicta has been usually their third pick in the draft, but they're going for it first now that both of the best initiators in the game, Paradox and Holiday, have been scooped up immediately by Be Back Later. So they might have something in mind in terms of pushing the tempo. But on the flip side, everybody's lovable Australian robot, he's in here to play. He's going to be hooking people left and right.
I had no idea Bebop was from Oz, to be honest with you.
Well, he sounds like Australian, right? I don't think he is from Australia, but he sounds Aussie, right? You think
he likes a good HSP?
He might,
oh,
dude.
Man.
A little Vegemite,
Listen, give me some halal meat over French fries any day of the week. Vegemite, y'all can keep that. Abrams, though, one of my preferred playmakers. I like when this guy shows up. Yeah. We take a look at Lash, and he has so many problems against the Kelvin that Abrams, just the ultimate runs into it. At the end of the day, you can kind of shoulder charge around. So when we have the pick of the litter with respect to frontline, I like going in the direction of the Blueberry. I think this is a smart choice.
Absolutely. And if you lasso somebody, you shoulder charge them into a wall, that's almost a guaranteed kill, or you swap them shoulder charge, right? He's the follow-up. Or, if you really need a desperate seismic impact or seismic slam, you do it. Yep. I think that's a good area to go for there. The Pocket has seen a resurgence recently over the last couple of weeks. People are finding his escapability and team fight capability to be pretty detrimental from time to time. So BBL taking that one out in terms of the ban. I'm interested to see what Melee Creeps does next. Mo and Krill still on the board here, my friend. Might be the next on the chopping block.
That's kind of where I'm thinking as well. When it comes down to Mo and Krill, one of the guys on BBL is Static. Listen, that's the Mo and Krill guy. He likes Mo and Krill. So if we don't see a ban here, we see the 7 banned out, which is probably the smarter choice from Melee Creeps. The reason why I say that is because I look at MLC, and they are the top card incumbent, the Goliath to BBL's David, right? And so when you come in as the strong team, I think it changes your approach versus when you come in as the underdog. And for MLC, I look at 7, and I think that he's very powerful and relatively easy to pilot. Certainly easier to pilot than some of the other options. And so if I'm playing up against a team that's, I view as lesser than I'm going to ban out the easy stuff and make you play the difficult stuff, really work if you want to find these victories. So I like that ban out, and with the Yamato choice, I find, Yamato's a little tougher. So another powerful character, but forcing BBL to go down that execution list certainly, I think, might come into impact.
Absolutely, and I agree. I mean, they're looking for carries now, right? They have their setup and their initiators. They're kind of your lane buddies. Now they're looking for the people who want to get the CS in the lane. And so taking the 7 out, who's a pretty easy character, he has the thumbs up right in the client, so you can pilot him. But Yamato, a lot more of that skill ceiling, right? So hopefully we get to see BBL on that. And an immediate double pick here from Melee Creeps in the Sinclair and the Viscous. So more of those lane buddies, as I like to call them, that we did see last night. I think it was Hydronation playing the Sinclair. They gave him a lot of farm. He was split pushing and things like that. I don't expect to see that coming out here from Melee Creeps. Definitely going to be some of that. There's a lot of good ultimates to copy on the other side, like the lasso, the impact, etc. And then, not to anybody's surprise, Wraith, they've been looking for carries, picking up one of the best in the business.
Always a fan of her real late game. That's the problem, though, if I am BBL. Again, talking about like the straight up matchup. As the underdog, I don't always hope that I'm going to go Giga late game. And you pick this Wraith, and you're like, all right, we're gonna make it to 30, we're gonna make it to 40, we're gonna really happen. Not sure if that's the strategy that I would go. I would have rather see some early game prowess here. Ivy might be able to even that up though by providing some support help here. So, all right. At the end of the day, I come back a little bit. I like what we've got going on here. Some frontline brought to you by Abrams. Some great picks on the Paradox of the Holiday and the Ivy being selected down there. So all in all, BBL, I think, have a draft they've come to play. They've got nothing that I'm going to overwhelmingly complain about. Yeah. And I think they've got some tools to make some strikes.
Absolutely. And I think that taking the Ivy for themselves prevents, I think it's Quig. From the other side, he's one of the newest additions over to Melee Creeps, has been and made a massive impact on their squad, has played Ivy time and time again and has looked really, really good on it. So taking that away, forcing him to play something else, which I think was their strategy to begin with, picking Sinclair, Viscous, and Bebop. So I'm not too surprised, but what is going to be interested is who gets the souls on BBL, because it's going to be Yamato, it's going to be Wraith. Who's the pause 3, right? You and I were kind of Dota 2 guys. Is it going to be the Abrams? Is it going to be the Paradox, right? Because the Paradox kind of carry has kind of subdued a little bit. She's been more of like an initiator, and Abrams is kind of taking that role, but they could come in with a different strategy. To round us all out here, though, my friend, the Lady Geist. I really like this pick. A lot of good spirit damage, which is what they need here, and she can scale in terms of that tank ability, so can be hard to take down in some instances. And you don't always want to gank her with the swap and stuff, because she'll sunder you or life swap, and then go from there. So I like the draft on both sides. This is going to be a fun one.
I like the draft for Melee Creeps, but specifically because it's for Melee Creeps. This is no, seriously. Like, again, I don't think it serves anybody. I don't think it does anybody any favors to ignore the idea that Melee Creeps is our title holder, essentially, and BBL is coming in to really make a strike at maybe not the king, but at least some sort of royalty, right? And as Melee Creeps come in here, I look at their comp and I don't see, Lady Geist is going to provide some front line. You can look to Viscous and Bebop to provide some of that as well, perhaps. Calico's going to be... I don't really see that straight up and down initiator front line that we're used to seeing by way of the Abrams or even the Lashes and the Dynamos, right? That said, I feel like as the higher end team, as the top end team, you can come in and do more with less. So this is a little bit of an ego call, in my opinion. This is saying like, all right, we're going to be able to handle things. And I don't mean that like disparagingly. I think that when you are the top card, you need to play as the top card. You can do more with less. So I like this draft because the other side of the coin is you can just be more aggressive. This Vindicta's going to get out of control. The Calico and the Lady Geist are aggressive frontliners, right? And so you're just going to be able to walk forward and be aggressive with this composition. I might have slotted in a Warden in this comp. I think it would have fit the idea. But MLC just going real light as far as that front line is concerned, and want to play very aggressive is my thought process. Use the Bebop, find those picks, and then Sinclair can do whatever the hell he wants. So I like this draft for MLC. It's higher execution and more of a fail chance, but they're coming in as a team that assumes they'll have less of a fail chance than their opponents. So I like this challenge.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be looking to press the issue. It's going to be, can BBL keep up with their comp? We know, if Abram falls behind, etc., it's going to be tough for them to catch up. So if they get caught out early in the laning phase, I feel like after about the 10-minute mark, when that first urn comes around and there's a big team fight around it, we'll know once the dust settles which team is going to be on top and might run away with it. But, my friend, only time will tell. We got to get into the Curse Apple to find out.
Oh, yeah. Game coming at you pretty soon. Hopefully now. But that's the biggest thing that I really like about the current meta for Deadlock is that, listen, it all comes down to your individual lanes. And so I've spent a fair amount of the pregame show talking about MLC and BBL being, top card versus a bottom card. But when it's 2v2, the game dynamic changes drastically. All of these players on MLC are strong players. BBL as well. One of the bigger differences when I talk about our top teams versus our bubble teams and our up-and-comers is that team-wide synergy, that communication map-wide, that macro approach, and the laning phase is so important in this game at the moment that you can win these 2v2s. You win West Side, you win East Side, all of a sudden you do have the upper hand and you transition into that mid-game really, really smoothly. So this is a really fun sort of moment, I think, in Deadlock's history where if I'm a bottom card like BBL, I'm kind of excited about this opportunity. I think that I've got a lot of tools to really make a strike and, just play your lane, do your fundamentals, don't get caught slipping, and you might actually, you can find yourself in some early game victories, which can spiral out of control.
Yeah, and you had me, you sparked some things, you're getting the juices flowing in terms of, what are going to be the lane compositions here as I'm looking at everything. And I feel like Yamato Holiday might go middle. Just there's a lot of burst potential there. They're going to try to poke him out, maybe take that tower. Whereas then you have Abrams and Paradox in lane together because Abrams can kind of hold down the lane himself and then Paradox can go rotate, or they switch, right? Paradox holds down the lane, Abrams rotates. And then I think Ivy is going to be there to protect the Wraith. They're going to be, connected by that Ivy and then just kind of move together as a unit. So that's kind of what I'm envisioning here. Now it's on the other side that's maybe a little bit more tricky because like we said, this is a slightly more unconventional grouping from the melee creep. So I'm interested in what they roll out. I think Calico, we've seen her go into the middle. Vindicta going to be protected on the side lane, probably by the Viscous. It's just, what are the other guys going to be doing? That's the question.
Big questions there. Lady Geist winds up being a strong early game hero, so whether you want to leverage that in one of the lanes is generally a question that I tend to look at. Sinclair has been the bigger question mark for me, seeing how he winds up impacting the game in the early phase, because he's such a powerful character. I feel like later on that in the early game, I just need to see more of him. I don't know if he needs his handheld or if he, it's just a matter of itemization, because he seems to be a really interesting character, the way you kind of have to tread water through those early game moments.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. His early game is not the best. Definitely needs some of that itemization online. And then the biggest thing is that he needs everyone else to get to 3,000 souls first so that he can start copying them and then, make an impact with it. So, but yeah, very interesting for the St. Clair. He was super overvalued, then he was undervalued, then he's kind of found a spot, but I still, to your point, I don't know if folks have totally figured him out just yet. So we will see. I don't know. I think maybe St. Clair Geist might be the move, and then Viscous and Calico and Bebop and Vindicta. I'm not sure, because you could tether and then grab, kind of set up an elimination for yourself that way. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. I hope you folks are excited here for First Strike 8 to find out what Melee Creeps is cooking up with this one for sure.
I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we had some stuff going on, a real little restart of the Observer client, so we'll jump into the game in a matter of moments. But yeah, I think one of the bigger changes here, that one of the bigger things that I'm looking at is really just MLC's draft overall. And I'm curious as to where we're going to see that front line. Because again, that Lady Geist is sort of the go-to, but who else is going to be assisting in being thick and tanky is kind of the question. I look to Viscous for sure, because Calico has really pulled it down away from that. So we'll be able to jump on in here and start seeing the answers to our questions for sure. So
Yeah.
Melee Creeps dressed in the yellow coming out of the bottom side, and right away we see those lanes broken up.
Oh, yes, and this is what we were curious about. Okay, so Viscous and Vindicta in the left, and then Bebop. Oh, okay, we're coming back to us. Hello. Well, that's fine. That gives us some chance to talk about a little bit of the team fight capabilities, because like you were talking about in terms of the front line and things like that. And then also the Rejuve take. And I think that the Rejuve take on the side of BBL is incredibly strong, right? They have the ultimate from Abrams and the Ivy to slam in, etc. As in the other side, it's really kind of on the Calico, maybe the Sinclair, to get in there and really pack a punch. So going to be interesting in terms of when that happens. But now that we can actually see the client, we can talk about the lanes a little bit more. Calico Bebop in the middle, that makes sense, right? There's a lot of burst potential there. And then on the right-hand side, it looks like that is Sinclair and Geist. So, okay, I like that lane too. A lot of poke damage on that right-hand side.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. The Geist, that early game damage coming out from Geist, might be able to carry Sinclair through some of the, you know, how it works out early on. As long as they don't get snatched, it's going to be the big deal. Worrying about Holiday there, so we'll see how it all winds up working out. But Yamato is going to be in that center spot that you were talking about. The Yamato and the Ivy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for I kind of like the side of the Wraith and the Holiday together, because Holiday can kind of put that pressure back on to the poke as well. So because that lane is getting pushed in, as you can see right now, so it's going to really be on the Holiday to hit those barrels, maintain the wave, and make sure that they don't lose too much ground here and lose that tower early. So definitely a lane to be watching for the folks at home. And then the middle is going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be hooks. There's going to be dives from the grappling hook. There's going to be everything coming out between these two squads. The Wraith already under duress here, F.
This is why I'm always chatting about Lady Geist's early game nonsense. She just does so much damage with the grenade. I'm already bringing down our Wraith player down to 10%. And then obviously Yamato falling down off screen in that mid lane. Yellow has had pressure in every single lane, including left side, as Viscous goes ahead and takes down Connor real quick. And Paradox just barely alive as well. P.S. Another kill right side this time for Quig.
Okay, and this laning phase, a bloodbath is like we expected. We knew that Melee Creeps, they are here to play. They're going to be pressing the issue, putting the pedal to the metal. It's about stemming the bleeding here if you are BBL. Not playing too aggressively, not putting yourself too much out of position. Get the souls that you can and not give up too much of anything in this first 10 minutes.
At the same time, that creates playing too passively creates a problem in and of itself. This is what I was kind of alluding to with this draft, is that, all I expect to see is pure aggression coming out from the Amber side of the field. You look at the minimap, all of these lanes are pushed up onto blue team's cartilage again. Wraith gets chased out here, brought down to half HP just like that. The early game damage coming out from this lane is pretty dirty. You can see right there just the result of it. Yamato walks 1 inch too far, and John's able to claim that one as well. And low main, left side. So just kills all across the board for yellow.
Yeah, and that's dangerous. Low main, such a lethal carry, if you want to, put a label on it. So if he gets off to an early start, going to be devastating as Yeager goes down here on this right-hand side. The poke, just too much to handle.
Going to be really rough for BBL to kind of fight back into this one. Cube on cooldown, so it's tough to say that there's a moment of opportunity here for Viscous' opponents, because they're just so far under the gun. 1,000 souls pretty much separating every single player, give or take, but not really give or take too much. Holiday caught out, parried, punched. Great answer from Wraith showing up, but Geist positioned on the other side of the bridge, making sure to catch the falling Holiday. Both players in blue on this lane, relatively unhealthy, but unconcerned, honestly, as you can see them still standing, ready to fight.
Yeah, and I love the team coordination. It's like, all right, I'll go up, and then I'll fall back. You go up, right? They're exchanging like their health pools as they go in that fight. The Calico, though, can just jump on in. Those gloom bombs, just so much damage. The transformation as well, finding the kill there, too, on Moon.
That transformation winds up being a big part of why she's pretty devastating in lane. You see it all the time used right there, really just to avoid some of the punishment for diving the tower. You go in, you do the dirty work, and then on your way out, you hit the button so that, you know, the follow-up damage doesn't come through and bring you too low to make you too attractive of a target. Here's the other side of that the Calico selection, the rotation.
Yeah, you can't spot her on the map, right, in the Ava form, so she can just pop out unsuspectingly and then help push these lanes. I mean, this Guardian is already extremely low. A couple more headshots will do it, but here the Viscous, oh my goodness, on a knife's edge in terms of their health pool.
Love this rotation, or love this answer, though, from Blue in mid to go ahead and keep pushing. Left side, we'll hang out with Vindicta, try to take her shots. No kills just yet for the Vindicta. Sala is able to finish off what Vindicta started, so Connor finds another one in this mid fight. BBL had a moment where Ava was gone, Calico was gone in the other lane, and right away, Yamato and Ivy started pushing. The fundamentals are there. They understand exactly what they're supposed to be doing here, Keg. As Rumpel punishes a dive finally. Left side, things are coming up here for BBL. A second kill would be perfect. It looks like Vindicta's going to be able to wiggle away.
Yeah, that flight ability is just so good. It's hard to find her. She's weaving up through the skyscrapers. That's why she's such a sought-after carry. Has that good escapability, but yeah, and scalability to boot. But right now, firmly in the driver's seat is the melee creeps. They are just getting elimination after elimination. BBL just can't keep up with this tempo right now.
Another kill left side. Connor falls down again. Vindicta's gone, so it's just 1v1 here. The Viscous and the Paradox. So Paradox falls back. Tier 1 tower taken for both left side and right side. Mid still stands, largely because Calico keeps rotating away to the right lane, giving Bebop a 1v2, and guess what? Bebop's totally fine. Hanging on, no problem.
Yeah, and that's the really important part of winning that middle lane, is it does allow you to rotate, and especially with the Ava, you know, there's no vision. You could just go wherever you dang well please and find those kills. Bebop, he scaled pretty well into those regen items, finds a good assist there as Calico returns to the mid lane. They're going to be pushing this one down, unlocking more of the map.
Left side's already taken, so mid's where everybody coalesces. A nice kill for Moon real quick. This Quake falls down on the Magician, but the follow-up from Calico might be able to punish this one. Ivy gets a big heal. All of a sudden, Calico's in trouble, but then her teammates show up. So Yamato's here to dance, but that's 4.3 on the Yamato. Everybody else on melee creeps sitting pretty at 6 or 7,000 with respect to their souls count. So Wraith in some trouble here. Will fall down largely to the Guardian tower damage, but honestly, Philly, I get the feeling, man, you're just trying to get these structures at any cost possible.
Yeah, you're just throwing your body on the line to just get the Guardians down, get those flex spots unlocked, and just get more souls for your team. But so I do want to point out, a lot of the players on BBL are part of the college Deadlock scene. So you'll see Moon and Rumpel, a lot of those folks. So this is like, you know, the college versus the contenders, so to speak. So a very interesting matchup right now. The collegiate athletes, though, being crushed under the might of some of the best in the business. Another team fight breaking out here.
A little bit of a rundown. Jaeger turns around and grabs one for the squad. I think that's the second kill for BBL. What can you do with it, though? Unfortunately, it was just kind of a grab, as the rest of the yellow team lurking in the wings. Geist is here by themselves. It looks like after the jungle farm, the rest of melee creeps trying to decide if they want to go mid to push the tier 2 or if they want to head out to the upper east side. Instead, it will be the mid lane. We'll see Quig go up north. The Bebop catch up with the rest of the lane. Calico's just hanging out, waiting for somebody to be out of position.
Yeah, looking to see where can I influence the fight, where can I change the numbers here as the lasso comes through.
Gonna cause a runaway here. Holiday got a little bit, but didn't want it. And AVG said, yeah, you didn't. Another kill here for the Calico player. Abrams on the run. 68 HP turns into 0. AVG feeling good about that one as well. And with a couple of kills in their pocket, mid lane seems to be a grouping. They'll hit the jungle real quick. But it's just Paradox here to defend. Instead, melee creeps will opt to on the jungle.
Okay, they go for a little bit of an initiation. Telekinesis used onto the Geist, but we said she can be so tanky, and with 10k souls, one of the highest in the server right now, definitely not who you want to initiate on. So a crucial cooldown expended from the side of BBL, but they tried to make something happen. Now at the 10-minute mark, my friend, the urn is online, and it's the Amber side who's running it.
Making sure to note when they take this one. They don't want to get too large of a lead before they run their first urn. This way it's still on even keel, right? If they get too large of a lead, it winds up pushing the urn return zone further into enemy space. So you always want to like be paying attention to how far ahead you're getting, because you want to go ahead and grab that urn. That urn can be free if you are right before the threshold, right? Because then you have the largest lead possible before the urn gets put into a dangerous spot. So I like the attention to detail coming out from melee creeps to grab that urn at the right time. Now they go ahead and push themselves up to a 20,000 soul lead. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Their investments paying dividends here. There's just no contest, though, coming out from the side of BBL. They just got picked off across the map, so they didn't have the numbers to come through at that time. A nice puddle punch, though, to put them out of position.
Knocked to the side, knocked up, but not going to take the fight.
Ooh.
Smart discipline here coming out from the Viscous player. I think Saya really understood that. I see one player. We don't know where the rest of them are. Got some pretty good offensive cards as well, so Saya can take these fights if need be, but needn't be. And so the green man gets out. Geist staying local in case they want to take the 1v1 versus the late game carry Wraith, but opting to just play it safe, do their homework, kill the troopers.
This Geist, my friend, is looking very scary. I mean, fully slotted, and you just saw how the wave clear there, and the Calico as well. Those troopers got bursted into oblivion. That means any team fight is going to be precarious for the side of BBL. They're going to have to be looking for these picks. That's kind of what their comp is based on, but right now at this soul deficit, it's going to be hard to find. Even the squishiest character is going to be tough to take down.
This is a good moment for BBL. They've got a couple of players on melee creeps way out of position. Like you highlighted earlier, targeting the Geist, kind of a fool's errand. So Geist is alone, and oh no, they circle, but they don't complete. So unfortunately for BBL, they unable to really convert over there and find that kill. An all-out reset for melee creeps, but they've got the tier 1s all down. No Guardians remaining here for BBL, just 13 minutes in. And so melee creeps looking for their next target. Calico's pushed up on the left side, tier 2 available. 2 players on D. Mid lane though could be the location as Paradox and Abrams find themselves pushing on up, but no, it's a left side deep dive. 2 players from Amber wind up wrapping around the Walker. The third will join with the Vindicta. A couple of players in blue will play defense, but not much to grab.
And I like that they were going for like a turtle strat here, BBL, knowing that they've been having their stuff pushed in and they need to get some souls on. But like you were saying, being too passive can be a detriment as well. And Calico can just dive towers with that shadow transformation, or return to shadows, excuse me, so easily. Now it is Moon saving Jaeger as they do finally get a Guardian down here. That's great for BBL.
And a great exit strategy as well. All in on the right-hand side. Tower goes down for BBL. As a result, they're able to pick up and just scoot out, join the fight in mid, and deter that tier 2 push there. Coming out from melee creeps. Looks like the 2v1 might be good this side though, as Paradox uses the swap, brings down the opponent to half HP, but not enough to really threaten. Walker gets brought down to 50% before Yamato shows up, and that's good enough to send melee creeps packing, but 14.5 on the clock here, and we stretch that lead to about 2,500 now. Or 25,000, excuse me.
And a very disciplined play there from Melee Creeps. Okay, they got the damage in. They forced out a crucial ultimate. Now they know the urn is coming up in 20 seconds or so. You have position on the map. Let's secure that, get another ability point for a crucial member of our squad, and then we'll come back later and finish that walker off. So really well done, controlling the map on a macro level here from the side of Melee Creeps.
BBL still ready to party right side. This not a great look for the Melee Creeps as far as numbers are concerned. A lot of blue jerseys here, but it looks like the blue jerseys are the ones running. Oh. And here comes Geist. Poshy Pop shows up from around the corner and just gets it done. Strong early damage done by the Bebop and Quig. So the rest of the team going to show up. Low main takes down one, and the Walker on the left-hand side. Right side is going to be all about John John. Moon falls, so does Jester. Bebop player looking pretty damn cute as a result. Half HP for the big man Tank. He's going to run all the way home. Not enough juice to take him down, but just about here, Philly, as that left tower went down during combat and the right one falls after it.
Yeah, and that's a very well-coordinated split push there, knowing where the urn turn-in point is going to be. So we're going to push that walker in, but then we need to create space for that to happen. So we need to bring numbers to the other side of the map. That's why 6v6 is so crucial. And then they were able to do that and get some kills on the back of it. So everything going Melee Creeps' way. They're just looking to go for the jugular now.
And that's the biggest real jump that we've seen in the game. It feels like it went from 0 to 60 real quick. Let me take that back. It feels like we were at a rolling start. We went from 0 to 20 real quick, and then overnight we went from 20 to 100 miles an hour, and that's where Melee Creeps is sitting. 115 looking down at 67,000 souls for BBL. And again, I always bring attention to the individual leads. These carries are separated by 10,000 souls, Philly. It's an uphill battle.
Yeah, that's very scary, and you can see even the Vindicta went for more, not necessarily troll, but more for I know I can play aggressively and chase down kills, going for the Burst Fire and the Swift Striker on Vindicta. You don't always see that, so they're going to be hunting. They're going to be looking to just bring the pigs to the fodder and take them down. So yeah, just an interesting itemization, from the side of the carry player. The Rejuve now captured here. Everything for Melee Creeps. They're dominating this map.
Two players, honestly, just keeping BBL occupied away from the middle, as the Melee Creeps are able to just go ahead and do work. Like that one?
I did. That clipped him. That was a pixel perfect shot, man. I always got to, add a little extra automatopoeia or whatever to get the people hyped.
That one gonna get me a little hyped. I like a good teammate grab. It's always fun. This mid lane group up, little spooky.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This is gonna be huge, but the side lanes have all the troopers in the world going the way for Melee Creeps, so those base guardians might go down off the back of the tidal wave of those little candle figures.
This was the moment where BBL might have been able to find something, but Melee Creeps respond to the call real quick. That signal goes up, everybody shows up. Mid lane tier 2, Eaton, AVG winds up taking it. And Foos is able to grab low main, but honestly, the Vindicta might be the least important character in these team fights. The rest of Melee Creeps can just walk at you. Yamato's ultimate about to fall off here, so John grabs one. Poshy Pop gets credit for Foost. The rest of the yellow team just tunneling in here in mid. These Cupheads are going to fall down no problem, and the Shrine's on the way.
Yeah, the big thing with that is you spend so much resources to just take down the Vindicta because they are that scary, but then there's the Geist. It was barely even tickled. I mean, she has some missing HP, but that's because she's doing it to herself here, F. So, I mean, it's like, what's the lesser of two evils, and who's the squisher of the characters that you can get? It's the Vindicta, but right now, just ransacking the base here is the Amber Hand.
Patron transforming. Right now, the lead is, the technical term is a lot. And Melee Creeps pretty much not having an issue. Gonna walk right on into the pit. Everybody up for BBL to play some defense, but it's gonna be a tough, tall order. Jester falls down, and that's gonna be one of the later game carries available. Foost eats it as well. With a couple of players down, the Patron is the target. Game one in the pocket. Melee Creeps one away from sending them home.
And a very decisive victory there from the Amber Hand. For me, for BBL, it's like, what was their win condition? What was their strategy, right? They maybe just picked like characters that they thought were really good, that have some lockdown, etc. But just because they have lockdown doesn't mean that's going to win you the game. You need the follow-up. You need the right character to then capitalize on that. And I just didn't see the team coordination. Like, there was some paradoxical swaps, but nobody else was around. And so they couldn't, take advantage of that forced positioning from that ultimate. So I would like to see a little bit more coordination from and synergies coming out of the draft here in game number 2.
Sure. I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to disagree. I just don't think, I don't think what any draft would have really helped out here. The laning phase just went awry. You see 5 deaths for the Wraith, and a bunch of them were during the laning phase. Foost fell down, and Jaeger fell down during the laning phase a lot. Connor was dead 4 times before 6 minutes, and that is really where you've got to be paying attention, is that early laning phase and how powerful that we saw the other guys, Melee Creeps, really come on through and make that happen. Because again, right now, Deadlock is just all about this early game meta, being able to go ahead and win these lane matchups and then waterfall elsewhere. It really all came down to the mid matchup where Calico, they didn't even get the tower. They didn't even take down the Guardian, Philly. What they did was they just got leverage. They just got momentum in the mid lane. They got a couple of good kills. And then AVG just left, just went to the right lane and won it. So really being able to find those victories in the early laning phase is a big deal. I would go so far to say that, like, look, dude, it was sad. BBL, like, they didn't get to play the game because they were so far behind at the end of the laning phase that we just, they were going up to bat without a bat, and what can you do?
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate. I was looking forward to some of those team fights. They could have been fireworks out there with the seismic impact and the lassos, etc. But it just never came to fruition because they couldn't group up like that. And by the time they were able to, they were already, inside their own base, 50,000 souls behind, and there was nothing that they could get done at that point. So yeah, controlling that lane tempo in the beginning is going to be crucial for them moving forward. Go ahead.
Are we going to play game 2 on a new patch? Is that what's happening here? Okay. Looks like we are.
All right. Well, I guess I gotta go to Discord then and see what's up here.
So interesting. They changed on the towers. I'm just reading it off right now. I mean, we want to. Can we bring up a? I have no idea if we even have the power to put patch notes up there, but. Definitely some things to take a look at here. The urn reveals you immediately is the first thing that is really coming to mind here. The idea that, like, as soon as you pick up the urn, bam, you're going to be spotted. Some items got some changes, it looks like. The big hero changes that I'm interested to see of which direction some of these characters went in. But yeah, Deadlock patched right now. And so our players are going to be downloading some of these, and we're downloading the update. And yeah, so here are our patch notes. Yashi going ahead and dropping stuff for sure. So Soul Orbs no longer have special duplication rules before 8 minutes. Soul splitting rules are now the same before 8 minutes as afterwards. Adjusted trooper economy to compensate. There's no longer a bounty bump that occurs at 8 minutes. So I think some of the changes that they made to the economy in the lane was really just a reaction to themselves going from 4 to 3 and now fine-tuning some of the economy that you get for splitting the wave there for sure. Guardians get their attack changed as well. Medic Trooper, interesting. This was a really big change. You used to get a heal every 7 seconds. So there's a 7-second cooldown on the Trooper heal, and it only has 3 charges. Then it goes up to like 30 seconds or whatever. So you can, if you hang out by the wave and nobody kills it, you can get healed 3 times, but that's it pretty much. Now they no longer has any charges, and the cooldown is just straight up 6 seconds. So they had a really complicated scenario with the trooper healing, and now it's just simple. This seems like I'm talking a lot about something that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot to digest. The players have a lot to digest, and that is what it's like to be in a game such as this, where it's just gonna, they're gonna dump a patch on us mid-set. But we are gonna head to a short break. Don't go anywhere.
Clouds are stirring up the sky. I was always in denial of what I saw right in front of me. And every time I'm so damn lost to what I loved and what I lost. But let's get lost in love tonight. Hear a second voice inside my head. It's telling me to stay the night again and hold on to the words we always said would be forever, forever. Wait another day to clear my thoughts, so jump into a love that won't be forgotten. Forever, forever. Let's run away together. Let's run away together. Let's run away together. I wanna run away with you. Let's run away together. Let's run away. Let's run away together. Let's run away. Swear we'd never say goodbye. Fall asleep to lullabies with something that I thought I'd never find. And what is right and what is wrong, and all I ever saw was love. But let's get lost in love tonight. Hear a second voice inside my head. It's telling me to stay the night again and hold on to the words we always said would be forever, forever. Wait another day to clear my thoughts.
feel free. And I just wanna be me. Yeah, I just wanna go so crazy. I just wanna be a freak. Yeah, I just wanna rise to the top. Yeah, I just wanna go reach the peak. So I've been really well focused on success. Hey, yo, will see. Yeah, you won't see that I will get it. Cause I'm really focused, man. I make it with the rap and I just follow my path. I just follow my passion. To me, this is what's precious. Yeah, in my soul, man, I can feel it. So every single verse, man, I just gotta go and kill it, man. I gotta be the kid. I could be the guy taking you wild. I could be the villain, but good as a kid. Lately, I'm painting my path on my way. Yeah, I got no time that I can waste. So I've been sitting in the space. Yeah, making rest every day, man. You know that I go insane. Yeah, I hit you with a bullet to the brain. Let us stop first, cause we going insane. You don't know what I'm gonna do. You don't know what is next. And I'm loving the fact, truly it's making me blessed. Cause I work on my team, no snakes in the grass. And we have the trust in the wind because of the work that we did in the past. Because of the work that we did in the past. When we went to hours, you barely got breath. So I get the realm and we didn't finesse. So I got the feelings that we might be next. Cause when we go in, we win in the match. Yeah. When we go in, we win in the match. So that's how we do, cause we be the best. We be the best. Yeah, we be the best. Whoa. Yeah, we be the best. We be the best.
And we're back. So there is a patch on the docket. The wonderful devs are pushing at 9 Eastern on a Thursday. I guess that's 6 Eastern in Bellevue. I assume they work out of a Washington-based time zone, so I guess that's not that late. That's not big of a grind, but just shout out to the devs, man. Nobody wants to be pushing patches at 6 p.m. on a Thursday night. Those engineers are going to be sitting there till at least midnight. Have fun, friends.
I was about to say, yeah, devious work if they're just like clicking, all right, run, and then they just walk out the door and the game breaks, right?
No,
so now they're gonna have
0%
to
chance.
monitor that for at least the next hour or so. I mean, it's
Project
not
manager might, the PM might do that
true.
and go, just file a JIRA, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this isn't like changing from 4 lanes to 3, right? It's more just balance and things of that nature. It seems like from our review, most of the heroes got straight up nerfs, right? Just everything adjusted, scaling their power levels just down. So we'll see how that comes to play here.
Small touches, in all honesty. Small touches. Taking a look, like Grey Talon, HP regen gets reduced from 2.5 to 1.5. That's actually a pretty decent one. And I actually like this. So charge shot for Grey Talon, the base damage gets reduced, but the scaling winds up going up. That's kind of what I maybe expected from GT. I talk a little bit about like base values with respect to the early game. How characters like Grey Talon, characters like Geist and Yamato are usually the ones that come to mind, where their abilities do a ton of damage just off rip, right? A Geist grenade before this patch did like 180 damage without any items, and she didn't get any changes, so her base values are the same. I don't think it changes anything as far as how I'm drafting all of these small touches. Mirage base health reduced by 50. I don't think this drastically impacts really where I'm putting all the characters are concerned, powers are concerned, but I guess we'll see how it all boils out. I don't think tonight, this game right here is where we're going to see the full reverberations of the patch just yet.
Absolutely. And for folks who may be just joining us, we have Melee Creeps versus Be Back Later. Melee Creeps have won the first match in this best of 3. Whoever wins this will move on to fight Hydra Nation in our match tomorrow for a $100 grand prize here at Colossal Tournament First Strike 8 Infinite Strike. Grey Talon taken off the board. I mean, still nobody wants to play against that guy. I mean, he has global presence, great poke in lane. They reduced his survivability a little bit, but I think, for now, they're just going to go with what's comfortable, take him off the board. And then the Cowgirl, always take her off the board. I mean, that initiation, it's way too strong, still has a ton of burst as well. And then in Vindicta, like we've talked about in game number 1, that's been their go-to. They love this character. They pick it in the first phase every time.
No reason not to. Individually, melee creeps have strong Vindicta players. Also, we get to talk about the actual meta players. Anyway, that's a soapbox of my own. Meta does not stand for most effective tactics available. It doesn't. Metagame. MLC, their metagame is usually playing against Hydra Nation, who have some fantastic Vindicta players and have since day one. So modeling your own squad against that, yeah, sure. All that said, you should be picking Vindicta first and foremost in your games as well. Phenomenal damage, does so from a distance. You mentioned the escapability, that also helps her rotate. And most importantly, breaks the rules of the game by getting free souls on kill. Assassinate just gives you free money, breaks the economy. And here's the other guy that breaks the rules of the game, Mirage. No quantitative easing for this guy, but he has a global teleport. And I rest my case. He's got a global TP.
Yeah, could definitely swing the fights, can split push, can be anywhere you need him to be across the map. So yeah, I think my friend, for as long as we've been casting together, for as long as Mirage has been out, has been first pick, first ban every single time. I mean, this guy is just way too dang good. Calico, though, the next one up, BBL says we got absolutely just bowled over by AVG in that last match. We got to take this character away from him and make him play something else like Shiv, Abrams, something else, and we'll take the Calico, see what we can do with it.
Great shout there. I think that the last game number 1, got really out of hand really quickly. It came up to a head where it really didn't matter what was happening. Everybody on MLC side was just kind of winning it, whether they were in stealth or not. So Calico was the catalyst for that. The mid lane Calico wound up winning the lane, wound up rotating even before they won the lane and impacting the other lanes. And that wound up being a big deal. So taking Ava away and making sure that Calico isn't able to make those rotations might stem the bleeding a little bit for BBL as they try to make it into that mid game with a little bit more solid ground under their feet.
Absolutely. And so Melee Creep, is sticking with the same strategy, right? Picking Bebop and Sinclair. So maybe they go for the Geist again. So if you're BBL, maybe you take away the Geist or at least ban them if you don't have a Geist player of your own, because that Sinclair Geist lane was just insufferable. You couldn't do anything in that lane. So making sure that doesn't happen to you again, so that way you can keep your Guardians up for as long as possible, could be beneficial. They go with the Paradox here, another initiator. They did get a few good swaps off. They just need to make sure they have their teammates there to back them up. So don't hate that one there. They kind of have 2 cores, so to speak, at least picked for my opinion. Now we go to the ban phase.
Second round bans here, and if I'm BBL, I'm probably looking in the frontline department. The Geist was really, really dirty, so if I don't have a Geist player on my side, I might look to ban out Lady Geist. That might be my look after game number 1. As far as Melee Creeps is concerned, you can't really look at game number 1 as to what bothered you, because I don't. Much love to BBL. Listen, I like these guys. I know these guys from casting them elsewhere. It brings me no pleasure, but yeah, I don't think MLC really was concerned with anybody on the side of BBL on their side of the server. So I don't think we'll see any real respect bans, more just straight up, what's missing in these drafts. BBL opting to ban out the Yamato here, so don't want to give Melee Creeps a little bit more of that attack damage.
Yeah, I mean, a spirit carry or however you want to put it, but that's very interesting because they played Yamato, so you don't even know who would do it on the other side. I mean, Pashi Pop is a very lethal Yamato, so you definitely don't want to give that up. And then Melee Creeps, they're going with the 7 again, similar, and it's going to be the same points, right? BBL, they need a carry, somebody that's easy to execute, can farm really well, and has a good team fight ultimate. So 7 checks all those boxes. They're just taking that off the board. They don't want to make sure that BBL can execute anything in these lanes.
Seven, the big thing with Seven also is his ability to farm. Everybody always tags the ability to farm, which I usually don't put much stock in. It is true. He clears the wave much better than other people. That extends to the jungle as well. But with the jungle being less of a focal point than it once was, I look at that as, nice, hooray. But here, I think it's very valuable. As a team like BBL performed in game number 1, not too hot. In order to get out of an early game deficit, you want to find some real quick, cheeky farm, and 7 really allows you to do that. Just walk up, throw the lightning ball, and then get the heck out of heat. And so because of that, I like the ban for melee creeps to just take that away. The pocket was banned in game number 1. This time we see it picked up on the right side.
Yeah, the fleeing son of the corporation, right? He's the prodigal son trying to return, and he has done now a great team fight ultimate, a really good lane buddy, can help put in a ton of that poke damage and maybe change the tempo in that laning phase for them. So we'll see what they can get done with it, but he can be tough to execute from time to time. You can whiff those ultimates, etc. On the other side, Warden has lost some favor, but it looks like maybe they're trying to see what he can get done. He can frontline Last Stand, a really great ultimate. You don't want Last Stand on the other side with Sinclair. You could copy it. Better yet have it on your own team. So I do like this pickup, a little bit of extra beef there for the side of the melee creeps.
And I think it fits exactly their play style that we saw from game number 1. I touched upon this. I even brought him up here. The idea that this is a team that just wants to walk at you. They have confidence and they're just going to say, we are better than you, and they're going to play like it. Which again, I'm not being cheeky. I'm not being funny. You do look for that is as real as a matchup as a character matchup. You've got to internalize that. So going with characters like Warden, I think really enable you to just press W, come at me bros type style. And as a result, I think MLC took that in game number 1, and they're going to take that approach in game number 2 as well. Warden filters exactly into that mentality.
Absolutely. And I think one of the only characters that got a buff in this patch that just happened, increased his base health and base regen by a little bit. So it makes him even more of that tank, right? That front line. I don't think they really check the notes that hard, but maybe they're just trying something. On the other side, though, they have to match that front line, that beef. And they pick up the detective once again. The Abrams was good. They were surviving, right? We saw a couple of fights where they got out of there by the skin of their teeth, but they were in it. So I think I like the Abrams here for BBL. Let's see what they can get done with it. And then the Wraith on the other side. I know that's one of your favorite characters. A really good carry in her own right. Great team fight, or a great ultimate there to lock people down. I think this is going to be a really nice pick for melee creeps.
The Abrams had a really hard time early game in game number 1. Definitely found some wiggle room as the game got later and later, but early had some trouble, which, usually we see Abrams have some trouble as a result of playing himself, pretty much, where the Abrams can do work early game, has a lot of displacement with or without itemization, has some natural tankiness built in, both by high health points, base value, and the innate, that resilience that's built into the kit. And so early game tower dives wind up getting punished, and that's how Abrams finds himself up a creek without a paddle. This time around, though, game number 1, that wasn't the case. He was dying on his own tower over and over again. So Connor definitely needs to change something up here for BBL. I like the selection. I like what's going on with Abrams and Pocket being able to be a 1-2 punch as far as initiators are concerned. That's a nice look. Bigger picture, I like that there's protection for BBL. You've got the cube to get your teammate out of trouble if need be, and then everybody else has a button that lets them extend their fight and wait for help. Whether we're talking about Mirage's Tornado, we're talking about Pocket's both suitcase and flight, getting out with the jacket. There are so many options for BBL to deal with once they get jumped on that last time around, melee creeps didn't really give them any quarter. BBL now, they've got some change to find some ways out and maybe some ways on top. So I like the adjustment BBL made in their draft.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just wondering who's going to get the souls here, right? Who is going to be the one that they want to facilitate? Yes, you're going to do the Mirage, but then Who else after that? Is it going to be the Calico like we saw ABG doing? Is it going to be the Paradox? Are you going to try to go for a 3 Abrams, right? It's going to be a little bit interesting to see how they set up the lanes, who's going to be the lane buddy, who's going to be the lane farmer, so to speak. On the other side, though, I think it's pretty clear, at least from my perspective. I would imagine Vindicta Warden together, because you do the Binding Word and the Tether. That's a really great combo in lane. And then you probably do Bebop and Mo and Krill, right? You get the hook right into the combo, you put a bomb on them, uppercut, dead. And then massive poke from Wraith and Sinclair. So I think putting those two together just makes natural sense for me. So I believe that's what they're going to run out. I mean, you never know, right? They could be cooking something up, trying something different. The lane buddies, though, or the lane compositions for BBL, a little bit more perplexing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, really, BBL will just kind of slot players in. I always look at the Mo and Krill and Vindicta combo as sort of like that classic. So that's how it works out in that mid game. In the early game, those maybe some differences there. So we'll see how it works out. Last time around, we had a restart of the game. Hopefully, post patch, everybody's all good, and we're able to just jump right on in. But not quite holding my breath. It is patch night. And everything winds up going on fire. So really for BBL, like I said earlier, I'm happy that they have a number of get out of jail free cards. I think that will bode well for them into MLC. I think that it's also kind of proof positive that they're thinking about how game number 1 went and how, like, wow, we just need help. And so all their characters now have help buttons, which I think is good.
Yeah. I like BBL's rejuve take, the seismic impact. You can fly in there with the pocket, roll with the viscous, swap somebody out, etc. So I think their rejuve take is good if they can get there. Their team fight is also, I like it a little bit better because it is more of that AoE damage, etc. Whereas the melee creeps is more of that individual. Can we lock 1 or 2 people down and eliminate them? And as we saw in the previous game, they were able to do that quite effectively, and BBL weren't able to group up. So I think still running with this assassination comp, so to speak, is really working out in their favor. We are ready to hop into it, my friend. To the Curse Apple we go.
Game 2 on the way. Right? There's applause.
This does bring up, we do have Chaz. He is our observer for the night. We do have Kashi, the legendary producer, clicking the 1s and 2s for us. So he threw us for a little bit of a loop there, saying we're going in, psych. So I threw it prematurely. I apologize, but I am excited for this one. I'm excited to see a little bit of the Warden and the Sinclair working together.
I always like good Warden play. Hydra was playing Warden way back in the day, and that was really exciting for me. This is a pretty one-dimensional character. I don't think this is an interesting character, but it winds up being fun to watch when played well. Nothing really goes on with Warden, and if you're behind, good luck, buddy. He doesn't really do anything. The handcuffs take an hour to come down from the sky. If he's behind, the ultimate is just a joke. So this is really like a character that I find that you have to have, again, like an ego play. You just have to have confidence in your ability to go ahead and make it happen. AVG was one of the heavier lifters in game number 1, playing on the Calico, if I'm not mistaken. And as a result, slam him on the Warden, see what happens.
Okay. Well, I think my lane predictions, at least for melee creeps, came to fruition. So I think we go buy a lottery ticket after this one, my friend. But we're seeing Calico and Mirage in the middle. And then it's that Abram and Paradox on the right, and Viscous and Pocket on the left-hand side. So very interesting to put the Calico Mirage together here in the mid lane. I feel like you'd want to protect the Mirage because he's your really tried and true carry for your composition.
Mirage is definitely one of the characters that, like, is going to be one of the carries. You're not wrong whatsoever. But Mirage has a number of buttons to help him out in lane. I think the Tornado is a really powerful ability, both offensively and defensively in the laning phase. Gets him out of trouble, no problem. And can even things up even with the Scarabs. If he gets caught in a bad 1v1, Scarabs can even things up no matter who he's fighting against. So Mirage has a number of tools. Foost, on the other hand, doesn't have many numbers, period. 1 HP for the Paradox. Little rough.
Yeah, they might have been caught in the Tether and then Crow with the Binding Word. I mean, that's going to be a lot of early damage, especially when you don't have any of those items online. I was looking at some of the notes, and Healing Right did get nerfed. I know that's been one that a lot of folks pick up quite early. So I don't think it'll influence people's item choices. It's still very strong, especially staying in lane. You don't want to leave lane ever. So anything that will help you do that, you're going to pick it up no matter what. So we're hopping back into it now, though.
Jumping in, my bad. I had to unpause myself. I'm a robot, actually. I'm Bebop's cousin.
Oh, but not from Australia. You're from like Georgia or whatever.
I'll take it. I've been in Atlanta for over 10 years. I moved down here like 2014 or whatever. But I'm still a New Yorker in everybody's mind.
You know, that was what my first guess, but since we just talked about you being in Atlanta, I was like, all right, he's from Atlanta. But I was going to say you're from New York, which fits perfectly for the game that we're casting here tonight.
Dude, I really do love it. I am, like most New Yorkers, obnoxious about my home city. Love it. Greatest city in the world, sorry. And it's really cool to kind of see, you know, something play. Listen, this is not a one-to-one. I'm just putting that out there of real New York City, but it's cool to see the location. It's also cool to see Connor start us off hot. First blood going the way of BBL. Very different tempo from game number 1, where we really didn't see a BBL kill till much later on in the contest. To start us off like that, that's the shift you're looking for.
I think you need to go buy a lottery ticket now, because that's, you called that. You were like, Connor needs to be a little bit more aggressive, but also play safe at the same time, hit his abilities, and he probably did there to net them first blood. And that is a huge, you know, at least morale booster for the squad here for BBL. So really well done from them. We're seeing the Wraith go heavy into spirit items early on here. They're going to be looking to kind of skirmish and poke them out of lane as best they can.
Mid should be definitely a little battle of attrition for sure. Calico, always mobile. Good pull. There's a player in bad territory. Calico going to go ahead and step up, take the do-si-do. As the teammate winds up wiggling away. Great work there from our Calico player. That's exactly what I'm looking for, Jaeger. You know, your teammate gets in some trouble, you step up, create a secondary target for everybody else. Meanwhile, Vindicta on the other side, getting real deep here. That's going to be a kill for Lomain, putting down Boost. And following up, I don't think she wants this secondary fight. No. She'll walk away. Willing to stand there, but not willing to dive, and I like that call.
I mean, dude, the flight, you just got right over top of your enemy, and it was just headshot after headshot after headshot. The damage just is exponential. Really well played there from Lomain. I mean, we know how good he can be. And then it's the Moan Krill just being a nuisance here. It's a battle of the healing, right? Scoring for the dash healing, and a Hyper Beam already coming out here from the Bebop.
Victory on the left side. Mid lane not going to be the same success. The Hyper Beam gets put down, but the half HP robot, now a tasty target. We'll go hang out on the right side of the map. And everybody healthy. Momentum going the way of melee creeps here. As they're pushing up onto Abrams. Down to half HP is the big man. He'll have to go hide around the corner. Off camera, another kill goes the way of melee creeps on the left side. In fact, they'll turn it into 2 and 3. Viscous has to answer in response. Very low, and that'll be one bitten back, excuse me, as Pashi Pop falls, but ultimately a good exchange for melee creeps. Mid lane, though, BBL finally gets going, and they get an unanswered kill for now. Calico might be that answer, but a couple of wiggles, and she finds herself safe and secure as Jester gets another one in mid. So Calico has been hanging on for dear life, Philly. But she's hanging on and gets out unscathed. Well, depends on your definition of unscathed. She ain't dead yet.
I'm very impressed. That was some great movements to dodge the scoring ability and not get the heal off, as well as we have a shoulder charge coming in. Abrams locking him down with the seismic impact, squishing into the Warden, but those are just 2 Titans battling it out. He's got to back off, but can't hide. A snipe from downtown. Lomain gets the kill.
That's what I was expecting. Abrams has to realize that the longer he spends out there in no man's land, the longer he's a target for that Vindicta. She's been Having she had that ultimate for a while now, and so always a threat. Got to internalize that clock for sure. Even with the momentum going the way of Melee Creeps Philly, much different game than game one.
Yeah, they're holding on a little bit longer. Yeah, it's a 5K soul lead, but I think they're okay with that for now. They haven't bled any Guardians, not really any damage to them either. Well, as I say, that one goes down. Okay, I got to look at the map a little bit better there, but okay, the Warden doing a good job of taking that one. But I think you're still okay with this. People aren't too out of control just yet.
You can fight 1v1. Look at all this. It's 4-6, 4-5 on BBL side with everybody across the way at 5,000. Absolutely a world where you can be in, where you can fight in, where you can leverage some victories. Right here, it's going to be combo starting us off. And 2 players in blue jerseys surrounding the Mo and Krill. Doesn't seem to matter. John comes through and takes down 2 separate players with 1 hyper beam. The Magician still on the run, gets on out. Nice job, Quig. Safe and secure.
I mean, that was a tale of save your friend syndrome. You know, you see your lane buddy getting bullied in a dark alley. You're like, I gotta help him. I gotta save him. But then you just, die in the grave with him. I think at that point, you where to cut your losses and just back out and live the fight another day. Don't give any more souls for free. So we'll see how they make that adjustment. But right now, it's the Abrams. He's looking like Spider-Man out there, my friend, trying to climb these buildings and get some damage in.
Left side, though, we'll switch things up. 2 players here for BBL. The rest of them are all Melee Creeps. Looks like BBL were pushing onto this Guardian, now getting punished for it. Lone Krill stepping up to the plate. 2, 3 separate players here. Quig's in real trouble, but no follow-up. Nobody to confirm. So the 1 HP Magician able to walk away no problem. Rumpel finally finds him. How did that pocket even find that kill?
Well, the world will never know, but yeah, that burst damage was huge. He just popped the suitcase real quick. He got a lot of folks low, especially because he's been specking into spirit damage. And then the follow-up came in from the Viscous, and they were able to take somebody down. Well done. That's the coordination I've been looking to see from them.
Mid lane, a little bit of a group here. With BBL pressuring onto the tower again. So a response from Vindicta showing up. And Abrams is here. I like this play coming out from the Abrams. If mid lane got a little too exciting, Abrams would have shown up with the ultimate, but instead shies back into the jungle. Now Viscous staring at 3 separate players. This is a dangerous location for him to be in. Gets flanked by Quig on the Magician. And all of a sudden, Viscous surrounded, brought down to 75. Not a lot of damage being brought onto the goo guy. As Magician by himself opts into the audience participation. I'm never saying that name again. But that's what he did.
Yeah.
All by himself. John's able to finish it off. Quig finally gets punished for it, but it's a 2-for-1. Quig spends all the time in the world attracting everybody. 3 separate players show up. All 3 players die. Yeah, Quig's down for the count, but ultimately it winds up being a good exchange. Melee Creeps on the number side, and also the result of it is that tower on the right side. Or the mid tower, excuse me. The right side tower was taken earlier.
Yeah,
looks like the left side tower. Yeah.
Maybe not long for this world as well, my friend. And I think Quig played that really well. I mean, he's lore accurate as the Magician, right? Smoke and mirrors. Hey, look over here. What's happening? And then, he's hitting you on the left side with his hand and you're dead. So the rest of the team was able to come, through the back of the opposition and take people out. So he's willing to sacrifice himself in that team engagement every single time. The goo ball here now is good to lock down AVG.
Great catch. AVG by himself. Yeah, Vindicta's in the sky, but nobody really on the ground to help out AVG. So the large cluster of BBL able to take care of this, no problem. 3, I think there's a 4th player here on the right side. That means the rest of the map should be open. And so it's going to be Melee Creeps chasing deep onto the upper west side. Paradox almost all the way home, and Bebop is just as deep. Beyond the tier 2. Not even a question. Sai is able to take down the final tier 1 here on the left side. They're going to push up continuously onto the Walker. Bebop had zoned out the opponent, taking down the Paradox. And Pocket's here to defend this left side tower.
There's
Warden's
that last
going to take
stand,
care
my
of stuff
friend.
on the right.
Wine coolers of assassins.
Yeah, sorry about that. The last stand was huge there to dive and really come up with it. So playing with some cojones is the melee creeps. They're willing to dive under walkers, guardians, whatever it may be, to chase after these kills. I mean, really well done from them to put pressure on this left side of the map to free up this urn that has now spawned, and they're going to try to score the touchdown.
Big swap here. Honestly, less concerned about the urn and more about the play. I think they just want the fight. As right away, this urn being brought left to right and stuck in the mid. As Connor by himself. That was something that we saw a little bit in game number 1. Just players being by themselves a little bit too late into the game. 12 minutes isn't exactly very deep, but with the lead that we've seen for the melee creeps, you just can't be alone. And that's, unfortunately what's going on here for BBX later. Quig winds up eating it, so a nice little bite back, but still not very active. As the remainder, the yellow team shows up, ultimate abound, and Vindicta trying to find out which target she's going to shoot. Left side, right side, kind of surrounded a little bit here, Philly. Not sure she's got any options.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this was just a really good play from the Viscous, but he was able to use his body to block Vindicta from getting the assassination shot, because normally you go for combo that sets up the assassination. You can go right for the head and get the elimination there. But they didn't have a clean shot, so couldn't really, accelerate the farm by getting that assassination online. So I don't know if it was intentional, but really well done from the Viscous on that one to kind of stem the snowball. But Moon goes down, Pashi Pop just on a tear.
That one was tough. There was a moment where BBX later thought they were going to find Vindicta. They all in, they jump on him. Unfortunately, she wiggled out, and just as the ultimate from Abrams, etc. comes out, well, the rest of melee creeps show up. And so they're able to grab not just the Viscous, but the Abrams after the fact. A little bit of blue pressure in mid, but everybody else on this right side here. Quig in some trouble, has to escape, pocket full health, ready to bang. The rest of the melee creeps had to run.
Yeah, no ultimate, so they might not be looking to take that fight just yet. But what's really scary for me is 17,000 souls on the Wraith there. I saw they had those 2 flex spots with also some gun cards in them. It's the Tesla bullets I saw in there, so it's going to be hitting like a truck. Right now, it is AVG under duress here, getting locked down and potentially blown up, but the last stand is good. It's healing him up and keeping him alive.
Plus has that help in the rafters. Coming out all the way on the top is the sniper. She's going to be able to grab a second one with Jaeger. Abrams barely alive, but he is alive and finding a way on out. The rest of the team, the yellow team, melee creeps, grouped up in the jungle. They might even catch Abrams. No, he's going to walk to the left. Smart plan. And instead, melee creeps going to group up here. They'll think about mid boss or the tier 1 in mid lane. Either way, you're going to be grouped up in mid for sure. Abrams on the run. Vindicta grabs him with the stun gun and then follows up with the all-in dive. That was a cute play.
Yeah, really well done. Unfortunately, Connor was caught in a rock in a hard place, didn't really have anywhere to hide in this city. They were able to, melee creeps knows this map like the back of their hand, so really well done from them. I think they're going to go for the mid boss off of this. All the lanes are pushing. They've set them in their favors. You can see all the troopers marching towards the blue base. That's going to give them the space they need to take down this alien creature underground.
I wouldn't love the mid boss here under normal circumstances, but the fact of the matter is melee creeps can kill anybody they want, right? Like you look at the large carries on the right side of the screen, and you're looking at 12 and 13,000, whereas Wraith is almost at 25. So if you do go to the mid boss, it really is just ringing the bell and saying, "Hey, come fight us." It's like hitting the car alarm in Left 4 Dead. Bring the hordes here. I'm down. I'll fight all of you guys. I don't care. Melee creeps are just looking to take any fight because they should win any fight.
Speaking of fights, I mean, that last one, Quig just absolutely was the MVP. I think hexed 4 players on the side of BBL, and then 2 of them fell, 2 of them ran for their lives as those little bunnies were scurrying. So an easy fight win for them. Another walker goes down. The map slowly constricting here around BBL.
Everybody up here for the blue team. They can play defense if they would like to. I don't know who would like to do that. It's Vindicta now. Finds the target, grabs Connor. Incredible play from this Vindicta. And both shrines are going to eat it. Patron number 1 likely to follow suit. Pashi Pop and John doing all the hard work, taking care of the structures. Phase 1 patron down, Philly. We are headed to the pit.
Oh my goodness, those structures just got obliterated. They didn't stand a chance against the might of this Amber Hand. They are farmed and juiced to the gills. This match, it's game set, it's done. Melee Creeps, they'll be moving on to the finals.
Tough one here, though. There's a couple of bites. Melee Creeps fall down. Pashi Pop, that's going to be one of their main carries. Good stun, leaving Vindicta ready to do all the work, but now she's in trouble. And Lomain will fall down as well, so it should be a retreat here for Melee Creeps. I don't think they'll be able to find the Haymaker backwards. Mo and Krill dealing with, well, everybody, as Rumpel gets credit for the kill. But it's going to be a reset here for Melee Creeps. Ultimately, for BBL, they're down 40,000 souls. That's the stop they need, literally. If they didn't get it, they lose the game. So they need that stop for sure. But they need at least 3 more of that exact play.
Yeah, I agree, and they don't have many structures left to kind of help them out and force the issue there. I think the biggest thing about that push, yes, Melee Creeps, they got pushed out of the base, but they got the flex slot because they got the 2 shrines and a set of base guardians. So they're able to get another item online that's just going to power spike them into the rafters. And you see Rumpel just got run over there. Couldn't take that 1v1 for even a second.
Wraith is out of control. Wraith right now, 30,000 souls, got all the money in the world, all the cards in the world, all the everything in the world. She is terrifying and should be able to clean up this game by herself. You can see the amount of damage she's doing to the goo ball. Really not a care in the world. Lomain from up top. Pashi Pop from the bottom. Oh man, he's in the base killing the dudes. That's not a good look.
Yikes, it's like shooting fish in a barrel here for the side of Melee Creeps, just kind of toying with their food, but can't toy too much because you still have to take down the patron in order to win. You see them backing out just a little bit here now. The kill feed coming through either side.
A little bit of checkers. It's ABG. Playing slam ball. Remember slam balls? Like basketball trampolines?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You ever want to tear your ACL? Go ahead and play some slam ball. That's the ball that needs to be slammed here. Sapphire Patron left over there in tier 2. And Melee Creeps having some fun. Diving the fountain means that they're going to give their opponents another opportunity. So stop number 2 here. A good look for Sapphire team, BBL. Got to extend it. Thumbs up.
Yeah, but the lead extended for the side of Melee Creeps. I mean, they were ahead 30, and now they're ahead, 35 or 36 or whatever it is, 35.
They were at 40 before. I mean, everything stays even, but you're just still underwater completely.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. I'm surprised they don't just go for the rejuve just to get that extra respawn timer, so that way then they know they do this push. If they do die, they'll respawn that much faster and then try again. But they have total map control, so they can really do whatever they want, absorb all the jungle, get this urn, whatever they need, they have it.
And 20 minutes in, looks like they will look for the mid-boss. Easy peasy. If I'm BBL, this is where I fight, honestly. I'm all in here. I understand that it's, a crazy idea to win this fight. But here's the deal. If you fight for this and you lose the fight, you lose the game. or you fight in your base where the opponent can look past you and kill the patron while you're still standing, whether you take the fight or not. So fight outside of your throne room is always the right call when you're this far behind. And then either you lose in the mid or you get another step. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have liked to see that all-out aggression, and deleting the Vindicta is certainly a great start to another stop here in the throne room.
Yeah, the Vindicta just overstepping themselves, not waiting for the rest of the team, got a little bit too antsy, and then found themselves in the grave, though Moon does go down. Bebop putting in a ton of damage. The hook and the bomb is good. They're going to be looking to siege this one all the way home. This has got to be the final push, my friend.
Another pull, and Jaeger falls on down, so 4 players are left, but there we go. Looking at the patron. Oof. Hashipop cut down, only able to bring down halfway there. So here comes the rest of the damage dealers. Brought it down to about a quarter. Connor shows up, playing a little bit of defense, putting down John. There's still 1 player in here. Low main trying to make it happen. And look at poor Connor, just looking upwards. BBL, we love you, but you gotta go home. Melee creeps. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think they were coming back in that fight. And to your point, if they had maybe taken that in the mid-boss pit instead of near their patron, they could possibly have won it. I know there's some extra damage going on the base or whatever, but they looked good. The Connor was slamming people into the walls, getting some stuns up and things like that, but the other team was just shooting the patron, and that's the objective. It's an objective-based game at the end of the day. So you take that down, it's GG's, and GG's it's been. Melee Creeps dominated this series. They're going to face Hydra Nation tomorrow for the grand prize.
Yeah, just really well played, honestly. And we take a look at the numbers right quick, and AVG showed up there. Top farm in the Warden. That's exactly what you want to see. Otherwise, I kind of don't want to see the Warden, but the late game Pashi Pop was really, really making it happen. However, as per usual, the mid game monster, the Vindicta, 12, 4, and 6 for the Ghost Lady here, low main, which, by the way, I love low main. Tasty meal. A+.
Yeah, fantastic job. They really just showed the pace difference, right? What it's like to be on 2 different levels in terms of how your perception of the game, your timings of the game, how you move as a unit. So a well-practiced squad here is Melee Creeps. They're shown why they are one of the best in our region. They're looking to rake in as much money as they can, and this is just one more stop to do it. Tomorrow, $100 grand prize for the winner. Hydra Nation versus Melee Creeps, the revenge match, right? Hydra Nation, they don't even care what kind of tournament it is. They want to go at Melee Creeps as much as they can to, validate themselves from being knocked off from the top spot.
Well, shout out to our homies on BBL. I think that, going up and taking a swing at one of these tier 1 teams is a tall order. It's definitely, listen, they're putting themselves out there, and that's real cool to see. Of course, on their side, they got a lot to download, a lot to learn from. And I think one of the bigger things that we can take a look at, when we take a look at our top-end teams kind of interact, what the difference is, it's that laning phase. The ability to really know exactly how large of a window you need to go ahead and wiggle on in and then make something happen. That's really what I see from our top-end Deadlock teams, and that's what I saw tonight at a Melee Creeps, which, as you said, punches their ticket to play tomorrow night versus Hydra Nation. Thanks so much for hanging out. Tomorrow is that finals. See you there. See you tomorrow. Peace.
I'm finally healing from you. I'm finally healing. I'm finally healing from you. I'm finally healing. I know I make mistakes, don't mean to come off hardy. I'm just an imperfect person in this imperfect world. But I'm learning my way under this maze that I'm running through. Now when I think of you, I'm falling to your picture of you. You leave me alive. And now when I think of you, I'm fine. And all of the wounds that were opened by you are now closing.
I think that I am moving on, cause I do feel less broken.